The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I am the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is Building VCP with BNI Connect. As you all know, VCP stands for Visibility plus Credibility equals Profitability. One of the great things about BNI Connect is that you can be very visible to thousands and thousands of people, both in the members-only logged-in portion of BNI Connect. There's about 135,000 members in BNI Connect on a daily basis, as well as to the rest of the world that is outside of BNI Connect through the regional websites and your personal page on those regional websites. Today's webinar, we're going to focus on some tips and tricks and best practices for making sure that your membership profile is up to date within the system, and we're going to show you where all of those things display throughout the system. Today's webinar is live, which means that you are welcome to ask questions as we're going along. There's a great little questions panel within the GoToWebinar software where you can type your questions in as we're going along. If you are at a computer that happens to have a microphone or you're dialed in by a phone connection, you can also raise your hand in the software, and I would be happy to open your microphone. This webinar is also being recorded so that we can post it later, and you can review it or share it with anybody else you feel that might get some benefit out of listening to this webinar. It'll be located in two places. The first place is if you're logged into the members only section of BNI Connect, click on this question mark in the upper right-hand corner. That will take you to our support page. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see a training section, and within that training section, there's a webinar forum. In this webinar forum, you will see all of the different months, and within those months are all of the webinars that were recorded and posted for that particular month. You can also go directly to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. And we have our entire library of videos stored up on this YouTube channel, including some special videos from people like Dr. Meisner. Feel free to subscribe up here as well so you get notified of new videos as they get uploaded. So let's talk about today's topic, which is visibility, credibility, and profitability in BNI Connect. Now, one of the great things about BNI Connect is that people are searching in BNI Connect for people to refer to on a daily basis. Let me tell you a little story about something that happened to me a couple of months ago. I was sitting here in my office, and I'm a member in BNI. I've been a member of the Wakefield chapter here in Rhode Island for about 11 years now, and sitting here working away, and a client walked into my office. Said to me, I need a referral. I said, hey, how great is that? That doesn't happen very often. A client just walks in and asks for a referral. I said, sure, absolutely. How can I help you? I said, well, I have an in-house bookkeeper, and they're really good, but they've hit the limits of their knowledge in QuickBooks. Do you have anybody that you could refer to me that could really help them along, take them to the next level in QuickBooks, and show them a couple of things? I said, oh, absolutely. I have somebody in my chapter that's a QuickBooks certified consultant. I can absolutely help with that. So what I really wanted to do was to take them right to the BNI Connect page that showed all their information, gave them, build up that credibility a little bit in order to pass that referral more effectively. So what I did was I went to our regional website, sitting here in front of my computer. I'm going to go to our test site because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. But I went to find a member, and I typed the person's name in. Now I came up with that person's profile, and for all intents and purposes, this is exactly what displayed on the screen, except with the other person's name. Now, note it doesn't have a whole lot of detail here. It has their phone number and a name, but that's about it. I mean, there's not much to describe the business, what they do. It doesn't have a picture of them or their logo or how to get to their website or really how to get in touch with them effectively. Not a very good credibility builder. Arguably, it's a negative credibility builder when a profile is not filled out. Now, let's take another spin on that. Let's say that somebody was looking for my services on the regional website. Now, keep in mind that these regional websites are open to the public. That means that anybody in the world, whether they're doing a Google search or maybe they're even a previous member in your region that still wants to use BNI members for services, and they go and they want to find a local BNI member to do business with. And let's say that they were looking for somebody with computer services or computer repair. They would get a list of names, and they'd probably start going through these names. Now, if they come across me, this is a little bit more of a credibility builder. It has my picture, it has my logo, it has my name, my business name, it has my address information and my website. They could click right over directly to my website to find more information about me. They could jump right into Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Look at all of my social media. Again, more credibility building there. It has a description of my business, what ideal referrals are for me, my top products, top problem, ideal referral partners. All of this is helping to build visibility, build credibility in order to make these referrals a reality for you. We have some great stories about people that have done cross-country referrals. They may have an aunt in Florida, or they may have a cousin in California that they need to recommend good services to. If they go and search your regional website, are they going to find this type of profile and, again, make that second step to give you a call? Or are they going to find something like the previous profile and move on to the next person? So let's talk today about where all of this stuff gets entered into BNI Connect and how to make the most out of your profile. So the way to do that is to sign into the members-only section of BNI Connect. Now, you can do that through your regional website. There'll be a BNI Connect, or it might say Members Only button right on that website. Or you can just go directly to bniconnect.com and sign in. When you do, you'll come across a page like this. It'll have your My BNI Business and some of your stats and the ability to enter all your referrals and past slips online. What we're going to do, though, is click on the My Account button in the upper right-hand corner. This is where you can enter all of that information in to update both your inside, your members-only profile within BNI Connect, as well as that public profile. So once I click the My Account button, it will take me to this page. Now, you'll notice this page is broken into a number of different tabs. And each one of these tabs has a different set of information on them. We have the Main Profile tab, which is basic information about your business. We have the User Profile tab, which has your username, your password, your picture, things like that. Your Contact Details tab, which has a lot of your contact information and your address. Your Account Settings, which is your preferences for what information you want to show to which people. We have your Bio tab, which has even more depth information about you. And we have your training history. So let's go through each of these tabs and see what shows up where. Now, the first tab is the Main Profile tab. And again, this is where you can verify your name and your company name. Now, this next field on here, the VAT reference number, this is something that may be confusing for our U.S. users or United States users in that what VAT stands for is value added tax. It's kind of like a sales tax that they have in a lot of other countries, especially European countries. You can safely ignore it here in the United States. In some countries, by law, they have to put this in as part of their profile, what their tax ID is. But again, you can safely ignore that here in the United States. The next couple of fields is your industry and classification. So this is how you're designated based on the list of services in BNI. If what you see there is not quite what you were expecting, or you'd like something different, or you're changing categories, please talk with your membership committee in your chapter, your director consultant, or your executive director, and they'll be able to get that changed for you to something that's more appropriate. And if it's not available, they'll be able to make the request to have it added into the system. The next two fields just show what chapter you're a member of and what your status is, whether you're active or late. Now the next two fields here are where we're going to start to spend a little bit more time inputting things into the system. That is your My Business description and your keywords. The My Business description is, I look at it as your elevator pitch. So think about when you're at your chapter meeting and during open networking and a visitor comes in and you need to very succinctly explain to them what it is that your business does. Or if you're at another networking event, either a chamber event or an after hours or something like that, and you need to convey to somebody that never has seen you before, doesn't know who you are, doesn't know what you do, and be able to get that information across to them. It should only really be a couple of sentences, maybe a paragraph long, especially when it comes to things on the web. You know, people aren't going to read a 7-page long, in-depth analysis of your business. A couple of sentences, a paragraph to get the point across is really all that you need here. One thing to keep in mind is that as you're filling these out, once you click the Update button, these changes are immediate in the system. So, for example, this My Business description, and one of the reasons it's important to start here, is that this will display on both your public profile, the one that's just out there on the internet, as well as the one that's on the members-only portion of BNI Connect. So if I click back over to my public profile here that I found on my regional website, you can see that the My Business description is up here in the gray box. It's one of the first things and most prominent things that people see when they're looking at your profile. Now let's say I wanted to make some changes to this. And I'm just going to start typing in some new details about my business. Now once I click Update, the very next time somebody looks at this page, they will see all of this new information there. So you don't have to wait for your regional office to publish anything or jump through any hoops. As soon as you hit Update, it is updated everywhere automatically and immediately. Now I'd like to put my original description back there so that people can actually see what I do. All right, the next set of fields is the keywords. And these are really important to take some time to think about how other people think about your business when they don't know your name. So a lot of times, people are going to search for a florist, or they're going to search for support, or they're going to search for advertising. Now, when they do these searches, it will find you by your industry and classification. But those are kind of internal classifications or means of finding people. You may do more than that, or you may do different things than that, or you'd like to be a little bit more specific about the things that you do. And that's really what the keywords are there for. So, for example, in my profile, I can be found by computer and computer services. But maybe I also want to be found for the other things that I specialize in as well, such as repair and servers and Windows and consulting. And think about the words that people are going to use to find you when they don't know your name. And this is especially important for referrals that are going to come from outside of your own chapter. So there's people that are doing Google searches, the people that are on the regional website, or the people that just want to connect with other photographers within BNI Connect. Now, as always, make sure that if you do make changes to any of the things on the tabs, hit the Update button at the bottom of the screen before going on to the next page, and you'll see a little saved flash right below that Update button. All right, so the second tab here is your user profile. Now you can choose your own username in BNI Connect. So you may have been given a default that was your email address, or if you came in from another system, maybe it has a random string of letters and characters. If that's hard for you to remember, or you'd like to have your own customized username, you can go ahead and change that at any time by clicking the Change Username button. You can choose anything that you'd like to. I highly recommend not using an email address because email addresses do change. But as long as it is unique, nobody else is using it in BNI Connect, you can choose anything that you'd like for a username. You can also change your password by clicking on the Change Password button. Now, the next thing on the screen here is the memorable question and answer. And where this comes into play is if you lose or forget your password to log into BNI Connect, this will allow you to reset that password. How does that work? Well, we can see that my memorable question here is, what is the third letter of your son's middle name? So what that means is, let's say that I forget my password and I need to get back into BNI Connect. Well, I can always click on the Lost Username or Password link here at the bottom of the screen when I'm at the login screen for BNI Connect. All I need to do is put in my email address that's associated with my account and click into the answer field. It searches the system and it finds my memorable question. So it's going to ask me, what is the third letter of your son's middle name? And I just need to put in the correct answer and submit. When I do that, it will email me a new password and allow me to log back into BNI Connect. You can also choose your language from this screen. Note that BNI Connect is translated into about 45 different languages, including about a dozen different versions of English. So especially here in the United States, if you find that the dates don't look right or you're seeing some words that you may not recognize, go back and check to make sure that you're using the US version of English. Now, the next two things you can do is you can change your profile image or add a profile image and your company logo. And these are also great for building credibility. People like to associate a face with the details that are on your profile. So to do this, just click the Change Profile Picture or Change Company Logo button. If you'd like to change the image, click on the magnifying glass below one of those images or placeholders if there's no image there, and go and find the picture that you'd like to use. This is going to search your computer for images. So let's say that I'd like to switch this over to a different logo here. I can do that. If you need to crop it, you can crop the image directly from this tool, and then click Save. And now that new image will be used as my logo. Now moving on to the next tab, this is all of your contact details. So make sure that you have your appropriate phone numbers up there, so your phone number, direct number, home number, mobile number, pager number, voicemail number, toll-free number, fax number. You can put all of those different types of numbers in there as appropriate. Your email address is in here as well. Email addresses are another unique identifier in the system, so they do need to, only one person can have that email address in the system. This is also the email address that all of the communications from BNI will go to. So when you register for an event, for example, this is the email address that your confirmation will be sent to. If you lose your password, this is the email address that that reset password will go to. It's also the email address that if your director consultant or your executive director or your regional office needs to get in touch with you, this is the email address that all of those communications will be sent to. It's a good idea to have your website in here. Just double check to make sure that it has this http:// in front of it. If you're changing that here locally, it should automatically put that in, but just make sure it's there. The next section, there's about a dozen different social media links that you can insert into your profile, including the most popular ones: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, a blog, YouTube, Pinterest. And finally, we get to the address. Now notice that there's two different addresses here. And the reason for that is that this top address is the one that will appear on the public website as well as on your inside preferences. So you can customize this in a way that if you have a home office, you may want to put in something other than your actual address, something like by appointment only, or private, or something along those lines, but still make sure that you have a valid mailing address down here in the bottom. Now, this billing address will always be kept private and confidential. It's not displayed publicly anywhere in the system. But it is a means that if your regional office needs to mail something to you, that they'll be able to get that information to you. I'm going to skip the next tab for a second and go right over to the Bio tab. Now, the Bio tab is where we start to get into some more detailed information about you. And this is really the credibility building portion of your profile. The first section is your bio. If you remember back to the last time that you did a 10-minute presentation or a keynote presentation at your chapter, this is the exact same form that they use before your 10-minute presentation. So it has your years in business, previous jobs, spouse, children, pets, hobbies and interests, city of residence, years, burning desire, something no one knows about you, and your key to success. Again, the exact same format as the one that your secretary-treasurer may hand out to you to have you fill out before your presentation at the meeting. This can make your life easier by setting it and forgetting it. You can put it up in the system. There is a report that the secretary-treasurer can pull right out of BNI Connect so that they're not chasing you at the last minute before your next presentation. There's also a report that your members, fellow members, can get to, and I'll get into that in just a second. One note about filling out the Bio tab is that this could theoretically take, a half hour to an hour to really go through and answer all of these questions thoroughly. What you may want to do is every once in a while go down to the bottom and click the Update button to save your information. And the reason I say that is because there is a 35-minute security timeout in BNI Connect. So if you, let's say that you start filling out your bio and you get a phone call and you walk away from your computer for 45 minutes or an hour and you've spent a bunch of time filling out some stuff on here, if it logs you out of the system and you haven't saved it yet, just like a Word document, you're going to lose your changes. So do make sure that, especially on this page where it takes a little while to fill it out, protect your time investment and click the Update button every once in a while at the bottom of the screen. So after the bio, there are a section to put in 2 commercials. Now, why do you think we would have a place to put commercials into BNI Connect? Well, one reason for that is that these commercials do display on your internal members-only profile in BNI Connect. Now, if you want to see what your internal profile looks like, there's a little link at the bottom of the page in the red section at the footer of the page that says Profile. If you click on that, you can see what your profile looks to other people when they find you. And you can see that it has just about all of your information that you're inputting from the My Account settings. Now, the second tab has your Bio tab. Now, the bio is actually hidden from most people. It's only accessible through a report. But they do see your 60-second presentations, your gains profile, and your tops profile. Now, when it comes to the 60 seconds, this member-only profile, as long as you're sharing it, is visible to up to about 135,000 BNI Connect users. I would venture to say that 134,928 of them will never be at your chapter meeting and will never hear you give a 60-second presentation live. However, when they look at your profile, they can see your 60 seconds. They can read your 60 seconds. What a great way to build some visibility and some credibility to a much larger audience than you get on a weekly basis at your chapter meeting. The next section after the commercials is the gains profile. And gains, of course, stands for goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, and skills. Think back to your member success program. One of the things that we're taught at member success is that before every one-to-one that we do, we should be doing a gains exchange. Now, traditionally, a gains exchange means filling this out manually and either scanning it and emailing it or faxing it over to the member that you're going to be doing a one-to-one with. That way they get to learn more about you, and it helps to drive the conversation faster and further than it may have gone without that gains exchange. With BNI Connect, you no longer need to fill out the form manually and fax it or email it. They have access to this through the member details report and by looking at the bio tab of your profile in BNI Connect. This makes the gains exchange much easier to do, and you will see some greater profitability through one-to-ones where you look up this information first. And finally, we have the TOPS profile. The TOPS profile has your ideal referral, your top product, top problem solved, favorite BNI story, and ideal referral partner. If you have a limited amount of time to get this done on the first pass, I would recommend starting with your TOPS profile. Now, the reason I say that is because the TOPS profile is the one that is visible on the regional websites. So going back to my profile here on the regional website, this is the TOPS profile. This bottom section is what is entered in my TOPS profile. So this particular page is visible to an unlimited number of people. Fill this one out first for some greater visibility. Now the final tab on here, this is just your training history. Again, another credibility builder as people are looking at your information. However, we don't have access to, as a member, to change these things directly. If you look at your training history and you notice that there's events that are missing or trainings that you know that you took that are missing, just contact your regional office. They do have the ability to manually add things in. As you're using events on BNI Connect, they will be automatically added in as long as you register within BNI Connect. And once the attendance is marked, it will automatically update your profile. But if not, again, just contact your regional office and they'll be able to manually update your training history. So to close things out, I just want to go back to this Account Settings tab. And this is where you make your preferences for what you want people to see of your profile in BNI Connect. Now, the first section here is the member-to-member. Now, this is the inside of BNI Connect. So as people are searching for you in the members-only section, again, that's what this profile is here. So this profile has more information than is on the public side. It has more information about you and contact details. It has your bio tab. It has your connections, the people that you're connected with. People can look at that. It has your testimonials. It has your photo library. And it has your groups that you're participating in. Now, you can choose which of these tabs are displayed on the members-only portion. So you can choose to show or hide the My Bio tab to either everyone, just your connections, or none. Same thing for your My Connections tab, your My Testimonial tab, your picture gallery. You can choose whether to display or hide your email address and your contact details. Now, the second section is the public website. So again, this is the one that's up on your regional website out on the internet. You can choose which information gets displayed here as well. The first option says show me on the public website, so you can choose to opt out completely if you'd like to from being shown on the BNI Connect public websites. The second one would allow people to email you, and what that is there's the send message button. When people click on the send message button, it will send an actual email to your real email address by them filling out this form. If you would prefer not to have that option, you can go ahead and uncheck that. And finally, show your contact details. Now, your contact details are your address and phone numbers. So if you choose to hide those completely, you can do that by unchecking that option. So we are at the bottom of the hour. I would like to open this up for any questions. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, I'd be happy to answer those at this time. While you guys are thinking of any questions that you might have, and for anybody that does need to leave right away at the bottom of the hour, I'd like to thank you for being here today. Hopefully you found something useful. A reminder that this will be posted both on the support site, which you can get to by clicking on the question mark in BNI Connect, as well as our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global. I'd also like to ask you a favor, if you could go to facebook.com/BNI Connect Global. This is our Facebook site where we do webinar reminders and tips and tricks and upgrade reminders and announcements. Give us a like and share some information there as well. We'd love to have you on our Facebook site. So do we have any questions at all? So Laura says, if I don't want my home office address to show publicly, but do want my phone number and stuff to show, do I need to uncheck the Show Contact Info button? So in a case like that, now I'm going to preempt that with, at the end of the month, we are going to be performing an upgrade to BNI Connect that gives you much more control about every single line that will appear on the public website. But for now, what I would recommend is leaving that option checked. However, what you can do is, under the address section, take out your physical address and put something like by appointment only. Or you could put in something like private and click update. Now when people view your profile up here, what they'll see is private. They'll still get your name, your company name, they'll still get your town if you'd like to, or you can put private in there as well. But all of the other information will show. Right now, at least for the next couple of weeks, if you uncheck that box, it will hide all of this information as well as all of your phone number information. So, but again, a couple of weeks we'll be upgrading that, and you'll have much more control over exactly what is displayed on there. So hopefully that answers your question, Laura. Sandy asks, I may have missed this, but how long does it take for our training to show up? I was in a class with you earlier this week, and it's not showing up yet. So for the training histories, these particular trainings are not recorded in the training history. The reason for that is it's not a regional training event. It's actually a global training event. So it's a registration system through GoToMeeting. However, again, your regional office can definitely add those trainings. The ones that will show up in this list here are the ones that you, such, for example, member success programs and leadership team trainings, and the ones that you go to on a local basis. But if you would like these particular trainings in there, please talk to your regional office, and they may be able to add these ones in. So hopefully that makes sense, Sandy. All right, do we have any other questions? I'd be happy to answer those questions. All right, if there are no other questions, I would like to thank everybody for your time today. A good referral for me would be to please let your other chapter members know about these webinars. We do hold between 12 and 20 live webinars a month. You can find the schedule of webinars on your event calendar on your regional website or by going to the support site. Our very next webinar will be on Monday, I believe, and it is maintaining your chapter website. So if you are a chapter webmaster, if you'd like to learn more about the chapter websites that are free for your chapter here in BNI Connect, please join us on the 18th at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for being here, everybody. Happy connecting, and have a great day.